Good evening, viewers. My name is Dr. Jessica Muthe of Esteem Guidance and Psychological Services Center. Today I'll be talking about self-esteem and mental health. Probably I want to ask myself, or I would want us to just think about what self-esteem is, what are the signs or pointers of low self-esteem, what causes low self-esteem, how would self-esteem affect us, and how can we enhance our self-esteem. Members, or rather viewers, self-esteem is the way we think about ourselves and the value we place on ourselves. I would want to say from time to time, we all criticize ourselves. But if we often think badly about ourselves, or we think negatively about ourselves all the time, we could then be having low self-esteem. So what are some of the pointers of low self-esteem in a person? Maybe I would like to go through a few of them. One is saying negative things or being critical of oneself. That is something that we need to note. Joking about oneself in a negative way. For example, someone may say, I can't make it. It is not for people like I. That is not good. Focusing on negatives and ignoring the achievements. There is no one in life who has not made some level of achievements. And therefore, when one concentrates only on the negatives or focuses only on the negatives and ignores the achievements, then that person could be having low self-esteem. Blaming oneself when things go wrong. You could be in a team of people and one person just isolates themselves and puts on blames on themselves because of something that has taken place, which is not right. That shows that that person has actually low self-esteem. Another thing is when people think that other people are better than themselves. I think that others are better than me. That can also be an indicator of low self-esteem. Not accepting compliments at all. One may have done some wonderful things and other people feel like complimenting them. But a person with low self-esteem hardly accepts compliments. Avoiding challenges for fear of failure. That means one does not want to be associated with a failure in case a project fails. They would rather not attempt doing it so that they do not fail. And for maybe students who are in school, it is possible to find a child who is running away from school because they are fearing to fail. And that can also be a sign of low self-esteem. Sometimes people with low self-esteem think that they don't deserve to have fun at all. So they live a strict life. They deny themselves all the joys because they don't feel like they want to have or like they deserve fun. Something else is being overly upset by disapproval or criticisms. There are people who get extremely hurt by the criticism or even literal disapproval by others. And it really injures them. And they can even isolate themselves from the group or from the persons because maybe of just a constructive criticism, but they are not able to bear with it. Feeling sad, depressed, ashamed, angry, and worthless can also be a sign of low self-esteem. Now, what causes low self-esteem? I would want to say that it can stem from experiences in early childhood. That is, for example, one did not fit in a school where they were, and this can follow them even when they are mature adults. They had difficulty meeting expectations of parents. Sometimes parents can be very critical of their children's little mistakes, or the parents can be too demanding until the child feels. Of course, the aim of the parent giving some of the things is that they would want that child to be the best, but it's mistaken that they are not able to meet the expectations of the parents, and that can cause low self-esteem. One may also have been neglected during the period of growing up, or even in a group, or abused by parents, relatives, friends, and significant others. People sometimes don't take it serious that even a spouse or a very close friend would actually would reject or neglect some of their roles, and that would cause the other person to have low self-esteem. Being bullied in schools, it is important that when a child reports at home that they are being bullied by a friend or by one of the classmates, that the parent takes it up seriously and goes to check what could be the cause of that and how the conflict can be resolved, because such bullies can result into actually low self-esteem even as the child becomes or grows into an adult. Performing poorly in school, and this can bring a lot of discouragement to the person that is doing the work. You can imagine derogatory remarks from teachers who are expected to actually be very significant people in the life of a child. This can make the child develop low self-esteem. What about stressful life events, like being very unhappy in relationships? For example, you can take an example of a child who has a nanny that is beating them, shouting them down, putting them down all the time, and their relationship is not actually good. That can make the child develop a low self-esteem. That kind of a relationship is a relationship that needs to be resolved quickly, because it can cause the child to develop low self-esteem. What about bereavement or a serious illness, loss of significant persons in the life of somebody or in the life of one? Chronic sicknesses can also bring low self-esteem. Loss of significant persons like parents can make the child lose or develop, lose their esteem or develop low self-esteem. Once somebody has low self-esteem, there are effects of low self-esteem that we also need to look at. Difficulty in relationships and problems at the workplace and even in school. Children you find having problems in school, or workers who are not easy to relate with, can also be having low self-esteem, becoming very upset by criticisms or disapproval, and withdraw from people or activities just because people they could be having low self-esteem. People with low self-esteem may stop looking after their appearances, or they may sometimes overcompensate by also looking very perfectly groomed all the time. Problems with one's image, for example, in teenage lives or in the age of teenage. Some teenage may feel like some body parts, like the legs are too thin. The hands sometimes can be, presumed to be very long. Sometimes I can think the head size is unusually big, and any other part of the body, and that may make them actually have a problem with their self-image. Some people may drink too much of alcohol or abuse drug just because they have actually low self-esteem. Those are some of the effects of low self-esteem. And if they are teenagers, they can enter into sexual relationships and activities earlier than their peers because of low self-esteem. They are looking for acceptance, maybe from from people, and that can make them have, or that one can make them, that can be an effect of low self-esteem. What about mental health problems? You find that some children may have, they may develop depression. Mature people may also develop depression, anxiety. Some others, like teenagers, may develop eating disorders, social phobia. That means they run away or they isolate themselves, and they fear, gatherings, big gatherings or where people are. And sometimes they may avoid social gatherings, even family social gatherings, because actually they are suffering social phobia. They may also develop attention deficit disorder, and they can end up taking a lot of abusing drugs or abusing substances because they have low self-esteem. And these effects may not be taken very lightly, because actually people take low, self-esteem to be some attribute that is not very important in life. Now, assuming we have relatives, or we have those kind of signs that are pointed to, how would you enhance self-esteem if you are the one affected? One, we think about things that are good, that we are good at. For example, what are your strengths, and they capitalize on your strengths instead of your weaknesses. Celebrate the small things in your life. Give yourself a pat on the back when you achieve even the smallest of the things, because that will actually enhance your self-esteem. Think about the things you can change. Don't worry about what you can't change. What you are able to change, do it. Do the changes where you can be able to change. What you can't be able to change, it shouldn't worry you. Avoid trying to do things perfectly all the time. Why? Because perfection is not possible sometimes. It's not possible. No one is perfect in life. Everybody has some little imperfections here and there. And therefore you can't do things perfectly all the time. You stop beating yourself up if you make mistakes. I also want to indicate that everyone can make mistakes in life, so you don't have to kill yourself when you make some little mistakes here and there. Do things that you enjoy. That it is easier to be positive when you are doing things that you like. Evaluate yourself, or rather assess yourself, and find out, what is it that I like doing, and continue doing that, and do it more often, because it will enhance your self-esteem. Be with the people who do not bring you down. Associations matter. I remember a friend who told me, you are known by the friends that you keep. But at the same time, people who dispense a lot of negative energy around you are not supposed to be kept, because actually they will put you down. So your association here matters. Look for friends that make you feel positive. People that can appreciate the little things you are able to do nicely. People that would see the good side of you, not people that would critique you very negatively for the small things that you have not been able to do rightly. The other thing is that you can volunteer yourself to help other people. There are people who work from day 1 to day 30 for themselves. You look out for opportunities where you can actually help other people, because this will make you feel better about yourself. When you serve other people and they appreciate what you are doing, you feel good about yourself, and that can enhance your self-esteem. The other thing is you do exercises. Try your level best. and make sure that you have some time you have set aside for some little exercises here and there. Why do you have to do exercises? Because it improves your moods. It improves your moods when you do exercises. So set your time, or look for opportunities when you can also do some kind of exercises, especially in the things you like doing. Some people like playing golf, some people like playing basketball, others would go for soccer, others would go for jogging, and many other types of exercises that you like doing. So look for opportunities to do exercises. Viewers, if you are experiencing such signs like the ones I've just talked about today, please look out for a counselor, a therapist near you. Try to share with them or tell them your story, and I'm sure they are going to help you. In every video that I do, I always recommend that you seek help as much as possible when you discover that some of these signs are with you or they are with a relative that is around you. Thank you very much.